But if at Easter time it's all about autumn leaves and the dying of the summer, then the break with the Christian theme is almost complete. I know about this, I've been there. I've been part of groups that want nothing to do with anything from the tradition. I've been part of a group that met for rather a long time in this building, actually, that spent a lot of time exploring how we might scrape away the tradition from our eyeballs and seek to recreate from the ground up new stories, new symbols, new liturgies. So I've got a strong empathy with that approach, because there is just so much garbage in what we have been taught, so much twisting of the core insights of Christianity, so much rigidity in our ritualizing, that it can indeed seem irrelevant to hang on to any of it at all. And we do know that many people who get to that point can find no way through it and simply leave the church. And I think sometimes in order to try and find a way of helping those people, maybe stopping them from going out that door, we've tried to strip away everything that we can't believe, everything that seems hopelessly outdated. And yet we know that doesn't satisfy either. It doesn't really attract. And certainly any sense of being Christian or being church becomes very tenuous indeed. It's not a good, healthy, strong place to be progressive. So what? Well, of course, the good moderate that I am, we need to try and find the ground between those two places. And I know that's the struggle and the effort that goes on weekly, that's with two E's, weekly in this place, struggling about how to remember well while also being rooted strongly in here, this city, this year. So I certainly want us who want to name ourselves in any kind of way as being progressive to remember not the superficial stuff, not the feel-good bits, not the medieval interpretations with their grandness and beauty, not the 19th century liturgical formulations with their language that resounds in the ears. Remember not that, but the deep down insights, the themes of deep truth that the Bible and Christian ideas do bring to us. For me, the most helpful progressive response to that dilemma between tradition and relevance is in remembering as reframing, not returning, not rejecting, but reframing. The tradition is not lost. We remember it. We remember it at its depth, not at its surface. We remember it not in the words of the stories, but in the meanings that are dug deep down within those words. The tradition we return to is not returned to as a finished product. It is not told in the old familiar way. The old words are not reused. The old symbols, if they are used, are thought through differently again. We seek to talk about and ritualize in this process the significant human concerns and experience that our Christian stories are all about at their best, at their heart, that is what their truth is. The Easter representation, then, of ongoing suffering and the renewal of hope and possibility is what we can engage with, as I know Clay has done with you on Easter Day and you have done regularly in this place. But we need to keep reminding ourselves that that's where the heart, the depth of the stories are. Those representations of Easter, but without the cross or the empty tomb as the dominant focus of our attention. Or in today's readings, the stories about the catching and the eating of the fish, deep down in there, what are they saying? I think they're saying things about the setting of goals, about leadership, about priorities, and about community. Go back and read them and think from that angle, and not, really, how many fish? Or the appearance to Paul. I think this is telling us something significant about the deep shifts of insight that we can experience as humans, that can come from anywhere, catch us by surprise, turn us around, change who we are and the direction of our life, without necessarily wanting to say how that happens. It is part of being human. Let us embrace it, understand it, and support each other through it. Read that story again about Paul. We will tell the stories, we must tell the stories, but let's retell them. Retell them so that we scrape off the accretions of our old ways of thinking and our old, tired, and sometimes literalist language. Retell them so our interpretations relate directly to our contemporary personal, social, and political lives. Even progressives like me, or at least what I try to be, and what this place calls itself sometimes, need to remember. Remember in a way that keeps us in touch with our heritage, while reframing that heritage for here and now. Let's keep that in front of us. I think it's the mark of a progressive Christian community.